Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Dani Doshes. Thank you so much for joining me and tuning in week after week. And I know sometimes there's not really a good reason necessarily that I'm having one of these, but I really use this as a way to release some of the emotions that maybe I can't necessarily put into words, or if I start putting it into words, it's just going to be thousands and thousands of words of rambling with no real sense of accomplishing anything. Whereas sometimes when I feel like I talk it out, it allows me to kind of make a little bit more sense. So even though that was completely rambling, it totally made sense in my head. So what's been happening is that, every week it could be a recap, it could be what's going on, or it could be something that I've been holding on to for a while and haven't really felt comfortable enough to release. And that's one of the things and one of the reasons why I started the blog to begin with. As I've said before, I was really struggling when I had my back surgery in 2011, and all of those feelings were just kind of there. And for most of my life, I just kind of pushed those feelings down with either food or just trying to ignore them. And what I realized is that nothing really got accomplished. I never wanted to share what was going on with me with others because it just felt so trivial. Other people have so much bigger and harder things going on in their life that, me complaining about being sad when really I felt like I had nothing to complain about really made me feel like I couldn't burden people with my petty reasons about being sad or depressed. And it's taken me years and years to realize that everyone's feelings and everyone's emotions are valid. I can't really explain why I am depressed and why things really send me into a dark place when I know that in reality I have a house, I have, a roof over my head, I have food, I have money in the bank. Might not be a lot, but there's some in there. I have a loving family and friends. And so when you look at the big picture, everything looks amazing. I really shouldn't have things to complain about, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's a chemical thing inside of me, but there's a darker place there, and it's hard to really be open about it. And thankfully I can say that the blog has changed that for me over time. And one of the biggest things that it's taught me is to be brave, right? Is to know that it's okay not to be okay. I don't have to plaster this fake smile on my face. And it's been freeing to be able to do that, but it's taken time. And, for years and years, as I said, I either pushed it down or, every time I had one of those thoughts, I would just punish myself. And for a long time, it was, cutting. And it's not something that I'm proud of, but it's part of my story. It's part of my journey. And, I carry those scars with me each and every day. And I look at them on my wrists and other places on my body each and every day. And it's this reminder that I don't want to go back to that place. I don't want, to give into these feelings of, punishing myself is the only way to be able to get over, if I messed up or if I ate too much or if I didn't do my workout. There are other ways to handle these things, but the first thing is to realize is that we are worth more than that. We're worth being able to get help or to reach out. And, I didn't know how to do that at first. I tried therapy and it was not for me. I tried a couple therapists. It didn't fit, which is why the blog came into play. It was a place where I had a little bit of anonymity, which doesn't really kind of make sense to a lot of people, but there is that space of a computer screen where I felt a little freer to share what was going on. And, really no one was reading it. So it was kind of just my journal of a way to kind of release. And little by little, I shared more. And I started to realize that it wasn't even just sharing it for me. I was sharing it for others because I want people to know that you're not alone, right? We all go through this. But the biggest thing, and I have to keep reminding myself of this and what I was thinking about this morning, was that, I have to keep trying. It's just like when we feel like we're not motivated, it's the same thing where I have to fight those urges to either go back into a dark place, whether it be cutting or, things that have to do with eating disorders and things like that. Those thoughts and those gut reactions are always there. It's always in the back of my mind. Will they go away? I hope so. But in the meantime, I'm proud of myself for recognizing that they're there, but trying not to let them win. And that is the biggest obstacle. And that's the biggest challenge every day, is not giving into those temptations, because, you know, there's food temptations, whatever. But when it comes to our like physical body, those temptations are just bigger than anything when it comes to, you know, when the feeling strikes. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but it's something that takes over every being of your body. And, you know, I know that the first step is not keeping certain things in the house, and not talking about food, just thinking about, you know, in terms of cutting or whatnot, you know, making sure that I keep my house as a safe place. And so today I just needed to say out loud that, you know, it's okay not to be okay, and that every day is a struggle, and people don't necessarily want to share what is going on inside. So we can't necessarily judge people based on their cover, because you just don't know what's going on inside. And so it was just something where, you know, I've seen a lot of stuff online recently of people bashing each other, whether it be for weight or, you know, anything else. And so it's just something that I needed to say, is that we never know the full story of what is going on behind someone's choices, actions. And so sometimes we need to just ask, you know, are you okay? Do you need help? And I want to let people know that I'm here if you need help, because you have all been an amazing part of this journey for me. And I thank you for giving me the strength to share the things that I've hidden for so long. And I know this is rambling by now, but I just needed to say thank you, and I just needed to get that out today, because this week I just have been feeling off, and I knew that if I didn't say something, that it was going to eat me away, and I just needed to get it out there. So thank you all so much, and so I challenge you all this week to get out there and to be brave, okay? I'll see you next week.